Hi, I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Courtney, and this is Caffeinated Crimes. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you're listening
Oh,
when
this
this
come
is
out on St.
released.
Patrick's Day?
Yes, I
Nice.
had to fact check myself, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it does, but it does. So,
Oh, that's
happy St.
exciting.
Patrick's Day.
Yes,
Um,
happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you got your green on. Hope you're
yes.
doing something fun.
Hope you took the day off of work tomorrow so that you can get drunk tonight in true Irish
Smart.
fashion.
Yep,
Maybe eat
yep.
some potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Get some Irish luck. I don't know. Find a leprechaun.
Yeah, find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I also said that in last episode that hopefully I wouldn't sound nasally anymore in this episode, and then I got hit with allergies because the weather's
Yep.
going 30, 70, 30, 70. So who knows what the weather's going to be like when this comes out.
That's true. That's true. We were just talking about how we're in that fall spring
Yeah.
week, so we'll see what next week looks like. We might have snow. It might be 80 degrees. It's
You never
there's
know.
no way to know.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy because it's almost like day by day. It's like one day
Yeah.
you're like it's so hot, and the next day you're like that is cold, but you're like
Okay. So I got a question for you five listeners who are here. So, do you guys like switch out your clothes for the seasons? You know what I mean? Because I try to because I have a very small closet, but I feel like it's really hard here because there's so much overlap in our seasons. It's not like, oh, from this month to this month, it's going to be cold, you need sweaters, and then it's warm and you don't need sweaters and you only need short sleeves. Like because like we have 70-degree days in December and then it doesn't get like super
yeah.
cold in the summer or anything, but like we have these random I just it's really hard to seasonally shift your clothes, but I also have a really small closet, so I guess I just need to get rid of all of my clothes and have my four core pieces, and that's all I'm gonna wear, which I guess I
Oh
pretty much do
Lord.
that anyway, so it doesn't matter that I have
Yeah.
all of these other clothes that I don't wear. But
Yeah, I feel like I used to do that like when I was like a kid, we would try to do it. But
mm,
I feel like what would happen is like we would always like get busy and then be like, we need to bring down the summer clothes. And then you'd have to
yep.
go like buy new clothes because you still hadn't got the summer clothes down because you like vacuum sealed them. So you have to like wash them again and then
Yep. Yep.
the whole
Exactly.
process.
It's
So
a
yeah,
whole
I
thing.
don't. I should. I try to organize my closet by like types. So like
hmm
I love like the long sleeve, like cardigans, long sleeves, short sleeves, tank tops. But Kevin's been putting away our laundry and there's no organization and I can't complain.
Yeah.
So it's just a mess. So
It's there and it's
I'll
clean, so
find it, you
that's all you
know?
can ask for.
The bodysuit might be in the bathing suits. There was another very interesting one that I saw and I was like, oh, wonder what went through his head with this one. But
Andrew did put our 4-year-old pajama pants in my pile the other day, and I was like, we are not quite there yet, sir.
they do look very similar though. I have done your laundry and it's pretty similar.
It's so funny. So you're just like, yeah, I've done your laundry. That's how you know you're true best friends.
Millie was much smaller then,
Yes,
so
yes.
I could tell then.
But now they're getting like, I mean, it's crazy. I,
She's
I
getting
swear
tall,
she's
so
getting
she's
so tall. It
yeah,
blows my mind. Like,
gonna be towering over us before we know it.
I know. Yeah, she's gonna outgrow us soon for sure.
I think I had something else, but apparently not.
I feel like I thought of something recently that was like a question I wanted to pose, which I guess it ended up being the seasonal clothes thing that was just, you know, pulled that out of my ass. But I don't know what other question I was going to ask. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into our update in this episode. And then I'm
Yeah.
sure by the end of this episode, we will have four more things to talk about like we tend to do. But yeah, happy St. Patty's Day. Happy almost spring. Next week
hmm
will officially be spring. Daylight savings. We got more sunlight at the end of the day, so that's exciting. All
We're
that
getting
stuff.
there. We're
Yep.
slowly thawing.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so our update is very timely at the time of this recording, but it's like 2 weeks old at the time this comes out. But so Colin Gray, who's the father of the Georgia school shooter Colt Gray, um, if you remember, Colt Gray was responsible for the Appalachia High School shooting in Winder, Georgia in September 2024 that killed two teachers and two students and wounded nine others. So his father, Colin, was actually found guilty of murder and manslaughter. So the jury deliberated for less than 2 hours and found him guilty on a total of like 27 counts. So
Wow.
he
Wow.
gonna be in there for a while.
Yeah.
But he bought Colt, his son, the AR-15 style rifle as a Christmas present, despite being warned that his son could be a danger to others. So I guess there had been some people expressing that maybe Colt was going through some things or was maybe, experiencing some things. And his father bought him a gun anyway. So this is kind of like a new thing we're seeing. I think we saw it with an Ohio case. I can't remember either party's name right now,
Mm-hmm.
the son or the parents, but where they're kind of extending who's in charge for these type of things. Because, like, obviously it is Colt who did the school shooting, but like he
Mm-hmm.
had to get those resources somewhere. So this is kind of like setting a new like precedent a little bit across the country
Yep.
of like how far this can go charging. So kind of a win,
Yeah.
hopefully, kind of for this, just that someone else is responsible and maybe will make other parents be like, oh, I can also be held responsible if I don't watch
Yeah.
it.
Which you would think that like the threat of your child killing a bunch of other kids would be enough to
Hmm.
sway you in a certain direction, but I
I
guess
think
if
so.
this is what it takes, I'm happy that it's happening, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we can't get any other kind of legislation, so
Hmm.
we'll take a
Ain't
win where
that
we
the
can get a
truth?
win.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Because like you said, they're not getting these weapons on their own. Yeah, and it's your job as a parent to keep your child safe, including making sure that your child does not harm other people and does not have access to something to harm other people or themselves with.
Because I'm also pretty sure, like, I need to look it up. I'm pretty sure the son was like 15 years old
Yeah, I think
when
this one
this
was
happened.
pretty young.
Um, he was 14 at the time of the shooting.
Wow.
So I don't think any 14-year-old needs their own assault
Mm-mm.
rifle. Like, if you want to get them like a hunting gun, something
Yeah.
like that, like a little like two bullet thing that they use to
Hmm.
practice in the backyard. I'm not going to comment on that because
Yeah.
it's the South, even in the Midwest, the North, whatever. People go hunting, like whatever, I
Hmm.
don't care. But like an assault style rifle,
Yeah.
I don't think any 14-year-old needs that.
No. No.
Yeah.
And
So
even if you just have a
he's
hunting
apparently
rifle,
facing 55 counts.
wow.
So,
Wow.
um, that'll be coming up. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying even if you have like a hunting rifle, it should still be locked up properly from your
Yes.
14-year-old. Like they do not have a developed brain. Like,
Yeah. I feel like especially too, it's just like you see so many of these cases, and a lot of times it's a little bit younger of kids, but like accidentally shooting someone else
exactly. Yeah.
because they don't
Yeah.
understand all of that. So it's
Hmm.
like just proper gun safety, guys.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but
Maybe
this
one
is the
day.
United States of America, so probably
Probably
not.
not. We're getting into World War III, so we're all gonna need our guns anyway.
Oh gosh, I have no
Sorry, did I
words.
take it dark before we go dark again?
I have no words. Everything is heavy and
Yeah.
hard right now.
Yeah, it's a time. It
Um,
is a time.
yeah, and speaking of heavy and hard, I'm so sorry that we did two child deaths in a row. I'm so
Hmm.
sorry. I gave Courtney shit for the last episode and unintentionally did the very next episode that also involves child deaths. But by the time I got to that point, I was like, I'm committed. We're just gonna we're gonna
Yeah.
go with it.
Also, a little teaser for next week, which I thought was also like kind of weird, is that the person who's like the main person in my story next week, is from Chesterfield, Virginia.
Oh, interesting.
And I
Okay,
was like,
okay.
wait,
Mm.
wait. So now it's like Jacqueline's gonna kill me because I did baby death and now I'm targeting somewhere she used to live.
It's just coming in all angles. It's too
It
much.
didn't happen in Chesterfield, Virginia, though,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that makes you feel better.
I'm gonna have to ask some questions or look in this doc if it's already in here. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some, see if I know anything about this one. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that next week. So just stay tuned for that. Um, our sources for this episode include a book called Lady Killers, Deadly Women Throughout History by Tori Telfer, and also an article from historyhit.com. So, Marianne Cotton was a female serial killer in England in the 19th century. Her crimes predated those of Jack the Ripper, yet she likely lacks notoriety because of her gender. Because you can't have a woman serial killer in the 1800s.
A woman.
A woman. So, Marianne Robson was born in 1832 to poor teenage parents in County Durham, England. Her father was a miner, and they moved often so he could find work. Unfortunately, he fell down a mining shaft to his death when Marianne was 9. She also had a little sister who died when she was young, but Marianne would later describe her early childhood as days of joy. So, she was still happy despite things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But her childhood did become more difficult after her father's death because she now had to work to help support her family. So she got jobs as a Sunday school teacher, a dressmaker, and a maid for a wealthy family. And working as a maid allowed her to see the luxuries that money could buy, and this really changed her. So as an adult, although she was far from wealthy, she did always splurge on cleaning women to scrub her floors for her. So Marianne married a man named William Mowbray at 19 years old. She was already pregnant at the time, and they got married miles away from her home with no witnesses or family. So she thought marriage would be her way out of poverty, but that was not the case with William. So they lived in a shanty town in the southwest of England, and Marianne gave birth to 4 or 5 babies who all died without being registered. She later could not remember exactly how many babies she gave birth to during that time, so that's why it
Mm-hmm.
varies. She did have one living daughter, Margaret Jane, and the three of them moved back to the north. Unfortunately, Margaret died soon after in 1860 of scarlatina anginosa and exhaustion, whatever that means.
I'm sure
It's
it was very common back in the
Yeah,
1860s.
it's 1860. So the couple continued to move frequently so William could find work, but the jobs were often physically taxing and for little pay. He eventually found work on a steamer ship, and the couple settled in a town near the coast. While they were here, they had 3 more children. A second, Margaret Jane, born in 1861. So 1 year after your child has died, you have a child that you name the same name.
I mean, if you like the name, why not just reuse it?
Like, just keep recycling it. It's
Yeah.
okay. Another daughter named Isabella and a son named John Robert, who died at a year old from diarrhea. So William was away at sea for his job for months at a time, and Marianne started an affair with a miner named Joseph Natras. So they stayed in touch for years, and their relationship seemed to lead to a personality change for Marianne. And she soon discovered how easily arsenic could kill a person and how easily it dissolved into tea. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
I'm also just thinking about like all these deaths you've described so far, and I'm just like, it was so easy to die back then.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as we'll see, like she got away with this for a long time because of that.
Like you die of diarrhea, you die of exhaustion, like it was so easy.
Yeah, you're just keeling over for anything.
Yeah. It's like when you played Oregon Trail, like you really would just die of
Yeah,
dysentery.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, speaking of, William Mowbray died in 1865, and his cause of death was listed as typhus fever and diarrhea. So, just laughing at how many times we're going to say diarrhea in this episode.
It's gonna give me diarrhea just like hearing it all these times, manifesting it to our lives.
So, Marianne collected a large sum of money from William's life insurance policy. But it's unclear whether his death was suspicious or not because typhus fever and diarrhea do not fit the symptoms of arsenic poisoning. But it's possible that the doctor who signed the death certificate wrote typhus instead of typhoid because typhoid fever did mimic symptoms of arsenic poisoning. And typhus and typhoid were often used interchangeably at that time, even though they are not. So they're two different things, but they would
Hmm.
use the words interchangeably. So it's like, was it really typhus fever or was it typhoid fever? You know
And
what I
also
mean?
too, like back then, I'm assuming there's not as many like regulations to be a doctor.
I would
And
assume so.
he's away at a job for sea. I'm assuming there's probably just some man they're appointing as a doctor.
Yeah, that's
Sit
true.
there. So, it's hard to say. But yeah,
Yeah.
it could just be. I mean, even today, towns can elect who their medical examiner is, and they're
Mm,
the person who writes the death certificate. So they could put something that's just not
yeah,
right. So there's
that's
probably a
true.
lot just putting wrong into
Yeah,
a lot of written things. So,
yeah, that's true. But we're unsure if William was a victim of Marianne's or not. But after collecting his life insurance money, Marianne moved to the town where Joseph lived with her two daughters. And soon, the second Margaret Jane also died of typhus fever. Afterward, Marianne sent Isabella to live with her grandmother. So now, child free and living in the same town as her lover, Marianne was devastated to learn that Joseph was married. So she decided to move back to the town she used to live in and take up nursing. So the male patients especially thought she was just a wonderful, caring nurse. She was also just young and beautiful, and they were just like, this is the most amazing woman ever. So, one patient named George Ward was immediately smitten and proposed to Marianne shortly after she began caring for him. So, the two married, and again, they had no family or friends in attendance. Their witness was actually the groom from the ceremony before theirs. So, like, before you leave, can you just come witness ours? Thank you.
it's like a pay it forward.
Exactly.
Back in the day, like, all right, we'll just, toss them in and out.
Yes. So, Marianne did not become pregnant during her marriage to George, which led historians to believe that he was not satisfactory in bed. So, George died only 15 months into their marriage after suffering from, you guessed it, diarrhea, stomach pains, and tingling in his hands and feet, which are all classic signs of arsenic poisoning. So Marianne moved again and became a housekeeper for a man named James Robinson, who was a wealthy father with five children. His wife had recently died, and Marianne moved in with the family soon after meeting them just before Christmas in 1866. So, a week after she moved in, the youngest Robinson child died from fatal convulsions. And despite his child dying in December, Marianne was pregnant with James's baby by early March. So, we're not wasting any time here.
I mean, when you're sad, what else do you do?
Nah, yeah, I guess. Then Marianne's mother got sick, so she went to care for her. And 9 days later, Marianne's mother was dead as well. So her mother's neighbors were suspicious because she had predicted her mother's death a few days before, and they said she seemed to go through her belongings a little too eagerly. They're like, she kind of sensed something was happening and was having a good time going through those family heirlooms prior to the death. So Mary took her daughter Isabella and went back to the Robinsons' home. In April of 1867, three of the six children in the Robinson household died within a span of 10 days. So, 9-year-old Isabella, who was Marianne's last and oldest surviving child, 8-year-old Elizabeth both died of gastric fever, and 6-year-old James Robinson died of continued fever. So, again, all of these just
Yeah. I
random
also wonder, like,
illnesses,
what's the difference between gastric fever, continued fever?
right?
I feel like they probably were just making up words back in the day.
Yeah, they're
They're
like,
like,
oh,
we
looks
don't
like
know. They
this.
seemed like they had a fever for a while,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sure.
So all three deaths were determined to be of natural causes, but their symptoms also mimicked those of arsenic poisoning. But as we talked about, because child deaths were so common in these days, no one was suspicious of the Robinsons' new stepmother. Like, it would not be unusual to lose three of your six
Mm-hmm.
children in such a short time period.
Yeah. Especially like if an illness is going around,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those
exactly.
were deadly back in, I mean, they're still
Yeah,
deadly today, but like even more deadly back then.
yes. So James Robinson and Mary Ann married in August of 1867, just months after three of their children died. So their first daughter was born in November, but died of convulsions within months. So later, James said that, quote, at that time, he would not let his mind dwell on some thoughts that he dare not. So he kind of indicated that he might have been suspicious of his new wife, but was like, I can't even let my mind go there, so I'm not going to. So the two had another child together, George, who was born in 1869. So at this time, James and Marianne were arguing over money. Marianne would run up debts, have James's son pawn clothes for her, and she would keep money that she claimed to have spent. So they argued so much that eventually Marianne ran away and took George with her. So some people also say that they argued because Marianne wanted James to get a life insurance policy and he refused and was suspicious of her motives. So it all kind of seems money related, but some say it was like more of like the
Mm-hmm.
spending, and then some are like she really wanted him to get this life insurance policy, and he was like, "Ooh, I don't know about that. Why would I do that?"
Yeah.
So while Marianne was gone, James boarded up the house and moved in with his sister. So Marianne found this to be an act of betrayal and later wrote in a letter, quote, I left the house for a few days. I did not wish to part from him. When I returned, there was no home for me. So she's like, I wasn't leaving, but I left. And then he was like, no, you're leaving.
Yeah.
I'll make that decision for you. So Marianne was gone for a few months, and then she returned and dropped baby George off at a friend's house to mail a letter and never returned. So she went to get milk and never came back. And eventually, George was reunited with his father, James. So Marianne now, once again, found herself unmarried and childless. She was 37 years old, and she worked and just kind of wandered from place to place. She was rumored to have moved in with a sailor and then stolen all of his money while he was away at sea. And she then began writing to an old acquaintance, Margaret Cotton. So Margaret's brother, Frederick, was a widower with two sons and was seeking a housekeeper. So Margaret suggested that Marianne work for Frederick, and she became his housekeeper at the beginning of 1870. 4 weeks later, the sister Margaret was dead, and all of her money went to her brother. So Frederick got Marianne pregnant that year, and the two married that fall, even though she was still technically married to James. But she didn't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
Bigamy is the only crime that she would ever confess to, but she did confess to that one. So
Yeah,
a
I mean,
few, yeah. So a few weeks after they got married, Marianne took out a life insurance policy on Frederick's sons, which again feels odd to take out a life insurance policy
mm-hmm.
on children at this time.
I also didn't know they had life insurance policies this far back.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how
You
much they
know?
were, but yeah, I guess it makes
I
sense.
mean, yeah, because if you think of like 1870 money, it probably wasn't that much, but enough to get
Yeah, yeah.
enough, I guess.
So in 1871, Marianne, Frederick, his two sons from his previous marriage, and their new baby moved to West Auckland. So Frederick started working as a hewer at a coal mine, and Marianne found herself conveniently living on the same street as her former lover, Joseph Nattrass. Crazy how that all came to be.
What?
What a coincidence. And speaking of coincidences, Marianne soon learned that Joseph was no longer married.
Whoa. What a crazy coincidence.
What a crazy coincidence. I have no idea where this story is going next.
So, in case you didn't guess, Frederick Cotton died soon after the move, and Joseph moved in with Marianne and the children as a lodger. So, Marianne likely intended to marry Joseph as that was her previous pattern, but Marianne also loved money and soon met a man even richer than Joseph. So, he was a tax collector who went by the name Quick Manning. So, Marianne was still working as a nurse, and they met when Quick Manning was suffering from smallpox. So the citizens of this town were sympathetic toward Mary Ann when she arrived in town and almost immediately became a widow caring for young children because they're, of course, like, how tragic. Can't believe this is happening to her. There's
Hmm.
no Facebook then to look up how many in a relationship, out of a relationship she's been in.
Like she's
They
brand
can't
new, it's her
search her
first
name in
time.
obituaries and see how many survived by are there. Um, but Joseph moving in with them so quickly and her relationship with Quick Manning turned them against her, and they began to suspect her of killing her husband. Because there's nothing more than people back in the 1870s love to do more than gossip. We still love
Hmm.
it today, but they loved it even more back then.
I mean, what else did they have to do? You know, like you said, they didn't have Facebook. They couldn't scroll through the news and all
Yeah.
these things. You know, that was the news. That was
Yeah.
Facebook.
That's what was happening. It was also obvious to neighbors that Marianne was not properly caring for the Cotton children. They appeared as if they were starving, and when one neighbor mentioned it to Marianne, she said they were weak-stomached and didn't have much of an appetite. Within 20 days, Frederick's son, Frederick Jr., died of gastric fever. Their new baby, Robert Robson, died of convulsions and teething.
Speaking of things that just putting random shit on death certificates,
Yeah,
teething?
teething. And Joseph became sick with typhoid fever. A neighbor girl had been visiting and helping to care for the sick children when she noticed the baby, Robert, was barely breathing and was staring off in the distance with like a glazed look. She said he was dying and asked who she should fetch, and Marion responded, "Nobody." Which
Yeah,
talk
just
about full body chills if that happened to me.
yeah,
Just being like,
right?
excuse me, what?
Like I will just take this baby. Bye. See you later.
I'm gonna leave now.
I'm gonna take it with me.
I'm not touching anything.
Yeah.
So Joseph knew his lover was poisoning him, but it was too late. Another neighbor who stopped by to help out noticed there was something unusual about Joseph's illness, and his body would shake and spasm, and he would clench his hands, grit his teeth, and draw his legs up until his eyes rolled so back in his head they could only see the whites. Um, which makes me think Jacqueline loves telling the story of a poisoning because this is giving me Jane Stanford vibes.
That's true. Yes, that
You
is true.
know,
We do
that was
like
a lot of the same like things that she saw when she was
yeah.
poisoned.
Yeah.
Well,
You know
she
us
didn't see.
women and
Other
our
people saw in her.
you know us women and our love of poisonings, you
Yeah.
know.
Good thing you don't cook. Watch out, Andrew. So Joseph told the neighbor, "It is no fever I have." And when Joseph finally died, baby Robert had been dead inside the home for 4 days, but Marianne was waiting to bury them together. Which I'm like, 4 days is a long time in the
Yeah.
1870s when it's probably, I mean, I don't know what time of the year we're at, but
It's still not gonna smell good no matter what.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. And the book, the Lady Killer's book, like made a joke about her, you know, trying to save on funeral expenses. Like, oh, I'm just gonna wait so I can
Yeah.
bury him together and only have
Yeah.
one funeral.
So weird too, because that baby was not his, right?
No, yeah, that was not his baby.
So
No.
it's not like she was like, we want to bury him with his father. It's
Yep.
like just
Nope. Not his
one
baby.
casket's all we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's ugh. So to the surprise of no one, Marianne was soon impregnated by Quick Manning, and her neighbors also started to notice how badly she treated Charles Edward, the last living son of Frederick Cotton. She would beat his ears, pull his hair, and throw his things into the fire. A local grocer and druggist named Thomas Riley went to Marianne's house one afternoon in July of 1872 to see if she could care for another smallpox patient. So Marianne kept bringing up Charles Edward and how much of a burden he was. She asked Thomas if she could put Charles Edwards into the workhouse, but Thomas said no. Marianne responded, "Perhaps it won't matter, as I won't be troubled long. He'll go like all the rest of the Cotton family."
Like if that's not a red flag.
I mm, I have like so many thoughts. Like the fact that everyone knows something's going on, but like Quick Manning, my guy, what are you thinking?
She was beautiful, they said, which
She can't be that beautiful.
I saw pictures. I'm not sure if we're looking at the
I
same
mean,
person, but
you gotta think of
it
back
was
in the day, you
it was the
know?
1800s. Yeah, yeah.
Was she beautiful or did men just know they would get what they want? No offense to her.
Mm,
I'm not woman shaming. Get you some. Get you some. I am
yeah.
not woman shaming, but I'm like, was, you know,
That is a valid point.
that sounds very anti-girls girl. So maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I just mean like was there's some people who aren't like traditionally beautiful, but they like flirt with you and they
Hmm.
make you feel special, and so like
Yeah.
you have more of attraction to them kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, now that I've been canceled,
I mean, we lasted 6 years. It's fine.
it's good enough. Just kidding. No one listens to this. They can't cancel me.
Right? It's just us. So you're talking into the abyss anyway.
So 6 days later, Thomas walked by their house and Marianne came out and said Charles was dead and asked him to come inside and look at the body. Many believe Marianne avoided detection because she was open about the illnesses and death of her loved ones and would often invite witnesses in. She asked doctors for cures for their typhoid fever and appeared openly distraught over so many deaths. However, Thomas Riley was different and didn't fall for Marianne's trick to observe the body and claim it was a natural death.
Yeah, like they said that she would just be so like open about what was happening. Like she wasn't trying to hide it. It's just like, oh my gosh, everyone's sick, everyone's sick. And it's like,
Hmm.
you know, she wasn't suspected for a long time because people did get sick and die so easily in those days and it wasn't an uncommon thing. And she's like bringing people into her home to like observe the illness and like
Yeah.
other people are seeing how sick they are. It's not like they just like died and no one knew what happened and like they
Hmm.
went away, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like even with like my grandparents, like they would be like, yeah, I had like nine siblings, but like only like five of them made it
Yeah,
to adulthood, like,
exactly.
and that wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's like this is just unfortunately like what happens. So Thomas Riley refused to come inside and instead went straight to the police. An inquest was held, and while the doctor ruled Charles' death as gastroenteritis, I don't know why I can't say that word. I'm so sorry, everybody.
We're just
Just
rolling with it. Close
we're rolling
enough.
with it. I've
They
said
were
it
making stuff
seven
up too,
times.
so it's fine.
Yeah. He must have been suspicious because he preserved some of his viscera, which is like his internal organs, specifically those of the thoracic and abdominal cavities, and buried it in jars in his own backyard. I guess that's the best way to preserve something.
Yeah.
So, gotta do what you gotta do. Rumors began circulating around town that Marianne was a murderess, and it wasn't long before the doctor was convinced to re-examine Charles Edward's body. So the doctor dug up the jars, analyzed the organs using a more systematic technique, and this led to the discovery of large amounts of arsenic. So the doctor ran to the police station at midnight after his discovery, and the police arrested Marianne the next day. So initially, Marianne was only charged with Charles Edward's murder, but the bodies of Joseph Nattrass, Frederick Cotton Jr., and Robert Robson were exhumed and all showed large amounts of arsenic. Marianne was then charged with their deaths as well. Police also attempted to exhume the body of Frederick Cotton Sr., but after digging up several graves, it was never located. So,
Where did this man go? What do you mean? Well, we couldn't find him. What?
yeah,
And it's not
very
like he had been
strange.
dead that long. It's not like, oh, this person died years and years ago and the ground has shifted, new bodies have been buried. Like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this man died pretty recently and you just can't find him?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's another big question mark. But Marianne gave birth to her last child in prison in 1873 and was breastfeeding the infant during her trial. She refused to speak in her own defense, and she was likely trying to appear as just a housewife and mother and appeal to Victorian ideals of femininity. A silent breastfeeding mother couldn't possibly be responsible for so many murders. Like, look at her. She's just a caring mother.
Exactly.
So, courtroom reporters described her delicate and prepossessing beauty. Her defense team argued that no arsenic had been found in the home at the time of Charles Edward's death. They said he must have been accidentally poisoned from arsenic fumes coming from the green wallpaper in his bedroom and flakes of the arsenic and soft soap mixture Mary Ann used to clean the house. But arsenic wasn't found in the house, so
Yeah, like they're saying, oh, there was no arsenic in the house, but they died from arsenic poisoning from these other things that it was found in.
that
But
she
that's
used to clean the house.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was common for trace amounts of arsenic to be found in wallpaper and cleaning products at the time, but a prestigious doctor was brought in to say the amount of arsenic in their bodies didn't align with an accidental poisoning such as that. Like Joseph's body contained 4 times the lethal amount, so I think unless he was like eating the wallpaper and drinking the soap mixture, I don't think that was happening. So Marianne was convicted of murdering Charles Edward. The judge ruled, "You seem to have given way to that most awful of all delusions, that you could carry out your wicked designs without detection." Marianne was sentenced to death by hanging, and the executioner chosen for Marianne had botched several executions before. He liked to use a short drop from the platform, which often would not break the prisoner's neck. He would then have to press down on their shoulders while they strangled slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So, not great. Marianne wrote to family and friends after sentencing and asked them to petition for a reprieve, and she maintained her innocence. She also begged her only surviving husband, James Robinson, to visit her and bring their son George. Of course, he refused, because, of course.
He's like, I am not bringing this
Mm-mm.
baby anywhere near you.
No, 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 not after what we've seen. No, no. Um, Marianne agreed to give her baby up for adoption. I guess Quick Manning wasn't interested in being a single father.
I guess
Um,
not.
But days earlier, she had been caught rubbing its gums with soap, thinking her execution might be delayed if her baby was sick.
Like, what? Uh, What?
What's going on in her mind? I don't know. And on March 24th, which is coming up, an anniversary soon, next week, um, 1873, Mary Ann was led from her cell to the scaffold wearing a black and white checkered shawl that disguised the fact that her arms were bound to her sides with a belt. The stylish shawl was popular at the time, but the trend ended after Mary Ann was photographed in hers because, I guess you can't be, trendy with someone who's getting murdered. Gotta
We're like,
put that
nope,
away.
we gotta burn these. We cannot. It's
Yeah.
out of fashion. We're not wearing these anymore.
Huh, the quickest way to end a trend. Now we know.
Right, there you go.
Um, She sobbed hysterically as she walked, and her last words were, Lord, have mercy on my soul, after the rope went around her neck. It took 3 minutes for Marianne Cotton to die after the scaffold gave way beneath her, and the executioner had to press down on her shoulders as she was strangled by the rope, which kind of leads me to believe, is this executioner also just enjoying this type of murder? Because
I
I
mean,
got
if
some
it's
questions about
happened,
him.
yeah, if you've done this multiple times because you prefer the short drop platform, and this is a common consequence of that, yeah, I have some questions about you as a human being.
Yeah. And Marianne was 40 years old when she was executed. Um, but that is the murder of a lot of people. A lot of children, a
A
lot of
lot.
husbands, probably more people that we might not even know. I mean, she was a nurse. I guess
Yeah.
it seemed more her motive was to be able to move on to the next and get money, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows what she could have done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and like the one like, sailor that she maybe lived with and like stole his money, like how many of those instances were
yeah.
there where she didn't have like a strong like historical record of being somewhere? Like she just kind of, wandered around for a while. But also like she was only 40 years old and like so much destruction in like such a short time period.
Well,
Also,
even those certain deaths, I was like, this is like within a year. Like,
yes. Yeah, like just yeah. I'm gonna share my screen right now and show you a picture of this woman. Um, now that we've heard about her beauty multiple times, I need
please
you
don't show me the
to.
picture of her shawl as she's
Oh,
walking
it,
to
it
the
is it
exit.
is her shawl. It is her shawl.
Oh, well, I do kind of want to see it.
Can you not see it?
Um, I can.
This is the woman with the prepossessing beauty, as written by
And
the
that's the
courtroom
shawl that was
reporters.
in style. Yeah, that I'm glad that's gone. I don't like that shawl. Yeah, she's a hard 40.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess everyone was probably a hard 40 back then.
Had a rough life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Anyway, I just had to share that
I
in
don't know
real
what the
time with
beauty
you.
standards were back then in the town she lived in. Also, I don't know what was happening, but
I mean, it is, a black and white picture, and she's clearly not smiling because she's
she's not very
walking to her
happy.
death. So, there may be better. She may have looked better at other times, but
That's true. Maybe before she was found guilty of murder, she looked a little happier.
yeah, I think that typically happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, just quite a destructive woman. Crazy to think this was pre Jack the Ripper. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
that's typically thought of like England's first like big serial killer, and it's like, nope, it's been happening And she probably was not the first either,
And
but
I've never really heard of her
no. Yeah.
either.
Let us know if you have, if you guys are familiar with the story, if you've heard of this one
Hmm.
before. Yeah, Courtney, what is your perk of the week?
So my perk of the week is that I kind of spiraled out on the weekend, and I looked at Kevin and I said, I want to get my nose re-pierced as soon as possible. Like I need it re-pierced right now. Like it's something I've been wanting to
Hmm.
do since like my
Yeah.
MRIs. Like I had to wait for the MRIs because it can like close up, and I was like, I don't need to get it.
Hmm.
This is the third time I've had it. Well, third time I've had it pierced, second time re-pierced. So
Yeah.
a lot going on with that little spot. But
Hmm.
I looked at Kevin and I was like, I want to go. I want to get it re-pierced. Like I just look better with a nose ring. I was like, I'm not feeling good about myself. I want my nose ring back. And I got my nose pierced. It was 70 degrees. I felt like wreaking some havoc, but I just sat on my porch
Yeah.
instead. But it felt like a dangerous time.
Can bring
But
some life back
I
into you,
know,
you
yeah, I
know?
just needed a little bit of happiness. So, went and got that. I was like there and could like hear all the tattoos and getting like the itch for a tattoo
Hmm.
also, but I'm like,
Mm, love it.
gotta save up the money for that. I can't just splurge
Hmm.
out of nowhere. But yeah, it literally I was like in and out in 5 minutes. Didn't hurt at all,
Oh, wow.
actually. I remember last time it hurt really bad, but she like reopened it versus this guy was like, we'll just re-pierce
Hmm.
it. And he
Makes
was like, you'll
sense.
feel a pinch, and I was like, I didn't feel anything. And he was like, you didn't even cry. And I was like, no. And he's like,
Like, I didn't feel
most
anything.
people's eyes water. And I was like, no, I'm good. Oh,
There's so much built up scar tissue in
that's what
there
I was
from so many
saying. And he was
times.
like,
It's like, nope,
I'm
there's
gonna
no
clean you up. And he was
feeling.
like, you didn't really bleed. And I'm like, it's probably just dead there now. But like, also after
Just all
last
dead
year, it's
tissue.
like, what's a nose piercing? Like,
Right.
this is minor behavior. So, um, but yeah, that's my perk of the week is my nose ring is back, and I feel a little bit more
Nice.
like myself. So, which
Hmm.
is
Good.
always nice. But
Good.
yes, so that is my perk of the week. Jacqueline, what is your perk of the week?
So my perk of the week, partially, I'm gonna do a two-parter, but like how lovely the weather was this weekend. But I also feel like I've mentioned that fairly recently, so I feel like I can't be
Our
my perk of the
local
week. But
weatherman, Jacqueline Powers.
I know, but it was beautiful. It was such a
It
beautiful
was really
weekend. Like, oh my
beautiful.
God,
I
it was
let the
amazing
cats out on the
outside, and
deck.
like,
They loved it. They were so well
yeah,
behaved.
just so good. Spent all day outside, went to the park, sidewalk chalk, just all the things. But no, my other perk of the week to do something different is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So Andrew and I just finished that, and it was really good. That's the new Game of Thrones
Mhm.
spinoff that was very short. It was only like,
I thought it just
oh
started
gosh,
airing. I'm like, what do
eight
you mean? You
episodes.
already
Yeah.
finished it?
Yeah, it's like the first season's over already. And
Yeah.
like they're only like 30-minute episodes too, so like it's not
Oh.
very long, but the books are very short.
Hmm.
So, um like Andrew said, like the audiobook for each one is like 2 hours or something. So they're very, short books. So I guess you can't do a whole lot with a TV show
Hmm.
of such a short book. But yeah, it was really good. It was very enjoyable. It was lighter in general than most of the Game of Thrones shows, so it wasn't
As
as
heavy.
heavy
We'll
of an
have to watch it. I've
experience.
seen the
So
ads, but I'm like, I don't know. Are we getting a little bit of Game of Thrones fatigue here? So if it's good,
I don't know. It was
okay, then
good.
we'll
It
watch
was
it.
good.
I
Yeah.
needed to hear the reviews before I spent some time on it,
Yes,
but
I think like I said, it was good, and the fact that it wasn't as heavy as most Game
hmm
of Thrones stuff was
yeah,
good. But also, Andrew is on season 3 of Game of Thrones now as he's rewatching it because I guess he just needed more and couldn't
yeah,
get enough. So
I get that. You saying audiobook though, also we can end on a funny story of me today,
okay,
and that's
so us at the beginning, like we have nothing to
yeah,
talk about, and like
yeah,
it'll
it'll
come
come.
back around. I know it
So,
will.
I thought I was having a medical emergency today. I was like, I'm having a stroke, I'm having a seizure, I don't know, because so I've read the book Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Amazing book, 5 out of 5. Like such an incredible book. Everyone go read it. But they're making it a movie and it's coming out in a couple weeks. So I was like, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook so that I can like remember everything because it's been a while. So I go on
Hmm.
Spotify. I'm like, cool, Project Hail Mary. I hit play and I was like, dang, this guy's got a heavy accent. And then I'm like, is he telling this story? I can't understand anything he's saying. And I was like, is something wrong with me? Because I could hear him being like, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, like The Martian, like and all this like saying words I recognized, and I was like, why can't I understand him? It was in Dutch.
Mm. Yep, that'll do it. That'll make it a little hard
But
to
like the
understand.
Spanish version said like Projecto Hail Mary. Like it
Yeah,
had whatever. This one didn't say
made it
any of that.
clear.
Like it just
Nope.
sent me straight to like the chapters. So it was just like track one. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
this makes sense.
Maybe if you
Dutch.
listen to it long enough, you'll learn some Dutch,
I was literally
Just
like, I
absorb
don't
it.
understand. So then I had to have Kevin listen to it, and I was like listen. And so then I finally like was able to find the audiobook somewhere, and I was like, got in the car to drive today and plugged it in, but the Spotify version started playing again. I'm like, this Dutch version is
Oh
gonna
no.
haunt me for the rest of my life.
Like it's happening again. It's happening. Like, Kevin, do you hear words? Are they
Yeah,
speaking
it was so funny
words?
because I was sitting there and I was like, I can't understand. Am I just not being able to like, do I not understand words anymore? Like I was just listening to a podcast. Like is something happening to me?
That probably is a scary experience.
Yeah, and I thought it was just like a heavy accent, and I was like, do I not understand accents
Yeah.
anymore? But yeah,
Oh
that's
gosh.
that's your funny story to end the week on is just me being a
Perfect.
dumbass.
Love
And then
it.
I messaged my boss because she also we read Project Hail Mary at the same time, and she was like laughing, and she was like also like my heart stopped because all I read was I thought I had a medical emergency.
Oh no.
I was like, no, I'm so sorry. I should have led with I'm just an idiot.
You're like, I did not, but
Just got her attention. I know how to get her attention now, I guess. But
that's true. That's
um
true. Like if you need a response immediately, that's
yeah.
you got it.
But tell us about your perks of the week. Tell us if you've read Project Hail Mary, what you think of it. It's so amazing in my eyes. Like one of my favorite books, like of all time, honestly. It's so good. And I'm not
I
even
have not read it, so I'll
you
have
have to
to
read it.
check it
It's
out.
so
Okay.
it's like sciencey, but like in a good way. It's so heart
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just most people I've talked to who have read it love it. So um
Let me see if I can put it on hold because I've checked out a couple of books since then, but last time I tried to put a book on hold, I had used all my holds. I couldn't put any more books on hold, but I've borrowed some books since then, so I think I'm at an okay spot. So I'm gonna try to do that right now
mhm.
before I forget. Um,
I do own it
but
as well if you want to borrow it, but Kevin did take it to the beach and it's a little and then he never finished it. So he liked it, he just doesn't
of
read
course
books. So
not.
he was like, I used
Yeah,
up my week of reading time and I'll finish it next year, I guess.
maybe he'll finish
Well,
it
he
next
said
year.
if I
Yeah.
listen to the audiobook, let him know when I get to that point because he's like, I want to know how it ends. Like I really liked it,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I just don't read. So,
We can just sit there and listen to an audiobook
yeah.
together. It'd be a fun little
Yes.
date.
So,
Okay, so I may borrow it. I also may put it on hold. See which one
see what pops up.
works out
Yeah.
first, whatever. Um, but speaking of books, and I looked on Goodreads, I don't think you've read it unless you haven't marked it. But all of y'all who recommended Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, what is wrong with you? I got a bone to pick with you.
I've not read that
Like
one. I didn't recommend it.
I looked at Goodreads. I was like, okay, because I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this book, and I saw that you had not read it. So I was like, I don't think that, and like I said, unless you read it and forgot to mark it or whatever. But so many people recommended this book, and I don't know what the hell I just read. I don't
Like
like.
it was so sad, why would anyone ever read it? Or it was so bad, why would anyone ever recommend it?
I can't. It's not sad. It's like a
Okay.
thriller, thriller horror kind of like you feel like it's in like a horror movie
Hmm.
the way things are like kind of written. It's not bad.
It's not good
It's an
though.
interesting. No, it's definitely not good, but it's an interesting story. But the twist is so, and I don't want to give anything away, but it just like the twist made me mad because you just can't do what she did.
Okay, well, once we get off here, you'll have to tell me what the twist was, or maybe I'll read it myself, but it might take me a while.
I don't know. Because I can't even recommend it, but also it's like I don't know. It's just such a what the fuck moment.
Yeah. Once we get off here, you can tell me what the twist was, because I
Yes,
probably won't read
yeah.
it.
I'll elaborate more.
Let's be real, I'm probably
And
not
if
gonna
you do,
read it.
you'll forget about it. You'll forget about this
Probably.
conversation by then, so it'll be fine. Yeah, let us know what you guys are reading. Let us know your perks of the week. I'm sorry, I don't remember what you left off on. We're all our things are in the show notes. You know where to find us by now. This is probably not your first episode. If it is, hi,
Yeah,
hello.
hi, we're still
Please
talking.
stick around.
Yeah. And if you could give us 5 stars on Spotify, like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever there's like a rating system, give us 5 stars. We'd greatly appreciate it. Write us a little note. reach out to us on Instagram. Like we are on there. I know we don't
Yes.
like post a lot, but like I do monitor all that. So like message and like I'll message back as long as it's nothing like weird. Um if you're
Don't
mean,
send us pictures
yeah,
that we
if
should
you're mean,
not
I'm not going to
have.
respond. Um
If you're mean on YouTube, I will respond.
that's
I
true.
get great
That's
pleasure
true.
out of responding
That's
to
true.
every mean comment on YouTube.
But yeah, so do all that. But in the meantime, oh, patreon.com/caffeinated crimes. That's the most important platform.
Yes.
Can't forget that one. New bonus coming out next week. So just a reminder. Um,
Yes. I have an idea for that. We can talk offline
yes.
as well. But
But yeah, but in the meantime, go have a cup of coffee.
and don't commit a crime.